Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the stunt bike with Silver Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. This is probably the last bike I will be reviewing from the Dino Charge / Supercharge line. I got most of them in the wave at the beginning and then a few here and there. The only reason I picked this one up is because Kyoryu Silver is my favorite, or one of my favorites in Kyoryuger, and I kind of wanted to get all of his stuff, as bad as it might be. But so just real quick, the only reason I usually have the boxes for these types of reviews is because they usually have really cool artwork or picture work, and there's a really sweet photo there of the Silver Ranger on the bike, the regular bike from the series, which just looks really awesome. I do like that. It's just kind of a nice little detail. And then obviously it just shows you what else is in the wave. There's other ones in this particular wave, like Supercharged T-Rex. Nice Silver Ranger shot there. And then there's a sort of like arts shot of what looks like the figure drawn onto there if the figure had paint on it. So yeah, that's really just all I wanted to highlight for this, because I do appreciate that artwork. In fact, the artwork might be the best thing about these figures, if we're being totally honest. So yeah. Speaking of figures, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, I suppose. The figures are basically the same exact figures you've come to expect from these. They do have articulation. You can move back and forth, a little bit of elbow articulation. You can move the legs full and back, knees there. You can't move the head, can't move the waist, but yeah, and the hands are fixed like this. So, as I've stated before when I've covered these, I appreciate the fact that we have these figures on the same scale as the regular 5-inch, and that they actually are articulated, but all that is painted on them is the visor. They're really bad. It's an embarrassment. It's a shame that we're still getting these. I don't think we're ever going to change, unfortunately, because this is actually one of the few things I really don't like about Bandai of America line in general. Is I don't like the bike figures. Broken record at this point, but if this happens to be the first review you're watching of these, So the bike itself is basically a repaint of the main series bike. That's one other thing I actually like about this bike set, is it's using the color scheme for his morpher, which I think is actually pretty cool. It's very basic, basically just use the word basic, but all black, or black. I am colorblind this whole time? No. It's basically just blue and red, and then a few little details of like silver and yellow, but I do like the look of that. I think this would actually look pretty sweet if it was a little bit more refined, but it gets the job done fine, and I do appreciate that color scheme. In fact, if we still did lots of in-show bikes, I think that would be really cool to see. I also really like the white tires. It's kind of a unique feature. So as for its features, I already had them on there. I suppose I could have shown that first, but I have like an OCD about the order in which I do these reviews. But I don't have an OCD about caring how he looks on the bike, because he's just gonna look like, you know, terrible regardless. So this is how he's gonna sit on the bike. He's had a rough day. Xenowing's been impersonating him. I mean, Doomwing. But anyway. So what you do is you just rev it up, basically. Whee! Sums up the line, to be honest. So that's his like main, but that's like the bike's main on its own gimmick, is it does that. Now it can combine with Zord Builder ports with the Zords. It's got a little port here, so you can do that if you want on any of them. And then also, which I'm not going to be able to fully show, basically just talk about because I don't have another one on hand, you can actually pull this forward and snap this and another one in this set onto the bottom of the Dino Charge Megazord's feet to give it like skates, which is actually kind of neat. It's not the coolest thing in the world, but compared to just the usual of, hey, let's snap this Megazord, or this this motorcycle on his arm, and he can just punch things with a motorcycle. It's actually pretty neat, just conceptually. I think it's just one of the more innovative things they've done. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much about it. Overall, these bike figures aren't that great. Like I said, the figures are pretty disappointing. I think that there is a little bit of fun here to be had for kids, if you like the Zord Builder stuff, and like I said, I think the idea of the roller skates on the Megazord is actually pretty neat. But overall, I think there are other things for both collectors and kids alike to take a look at in this line that are much more worth your time and money. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you have the Crazy Podcast at writersrangerambles.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.